All right, take 2. Give me what you got, Luke chapter what?
Luke chapter 4 and verse 18.
Luke 4:18. Read.
The Spirit of the Lord is upon me.
This is what Christ said. Yahweh Shai, the black Messiah. It said what?
The Spirit of the Lord is upon me.
The Spirit of the Lord was upon Yahweh Shai. Go ahead.
Because he had anointed me.
Because he anointed him. Go ahead.
To preach the gospel to the poor.
To preach the gospel to the who?
To the poor.
To preach the gospel to the rich.
To the poor.
To preach the gospel to the poor. Now, who are the poor? If you're familiar with the Old Testament and you looked in the book of Isaiah, you should know that the poor is in relations to the nation of Israel. Read on. Go ahead. Because when you ask yourself today, wait a minute, ask yourself today who suffer poverty. Ask yourself today who are considered third-class citizens. Ask yourself today who are considered the minority. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, man. You are the same people that the Bible is talking about when it said that Christ was sent to the poor, man. Because the poor is the nation of Israel. We're going to show you this in Isaiah. Read on,
It says, he had anointed me to preach the gospel to the poor. And he has sent me to heal the brokenhearted.
To heal the brokenhearted, because we've been crushed as a nation of people. We've been worn out through servitude and slavery by the heathens. Read on.
To preach deliverance to the captives.
To preach deliverance to the captives. What does it mean to preach deliverance to the captives in a lost state of mind? You don't know who you are. You don't know your identity as the chosen people. You don't even know your God, your customs, your manners, your traditions. Imprisonment state of mind. Christ came to deliver those. You understand? That was lost, man. That's the Israelites. That's us. Read on.
It says, to heal the brokenhearted, to preach deliverance to the captives, and recovering the sight to the blind.
Now, in recovering the sight to the blind, if anybody was ever blind, it's blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, because you are blind to the fact who you are and your identity. You don't even know who you are. You understand? You caught up in religion. You brainwashed. You caught up in the Christian society. You understand? You caught up in politics. You caught up in this American society, this American system. You don't even know who you are as the people. You are the one that's blind. If any nation was ever blind on the earth, it's the nation of Israel, man. So where did Christ get this from? He got this from Isaiah because the Messiah studied the scrolls of Isaiah, man. And we're going to show you. Now, let me take you back to Isaiah, to the original text. Isaiah 61:1. Give me that. The gospel is for the nation of Israel. Isaiah 61:1.
Isaiah chapter 61 and verse 1.
Now this is where he was actually pulling from. Come on.
The Spirit of the Lord God is upon me. Because the Lord had anointed me to preach good tidings unto the meek.
Now guess what? Now was not Christ an Israelite from the tribe of Judah? Now why would an Israelite be quoting the scroll of another Israelite if salvation is for all people? If salvation in the gospel is catered to all people, why would you have Christ himself, an Israelite, quoting the scrolls and scriptures of another Israelite, which is Isaiah, man? Come on, man. Don't play games. Wake up, man. So this is what Christ was quoting, Isaiah 61, verse 1 from the top. Come on.
The Spirit of the Lord God is upon me, because the Lord had anointed me to preach good tidings unto the meek.
To preach good tidings. Now what good tidings means? That means the gospel, the good news. That's what good tidings is. But who the gospel for? I'm going to show you. Come on, up.
It says, and he hath sent me to bind up the brokenhearted.
He sent me what?
To bind up the brokenhearted.
The brokenhearted are the Israelites, man. We've been crushed and broken as a people. You understand? Christ knew that, man. That's why in the New Testament, when you read about the rich man and the poor man, Lazarus, which was the poor man that laid at the gate, that was talking about Israel, man. You understand? Come on now. Christ knew the Old Testament very well. It wasn't even called the Old Testament. It was called the Tanakh during his time, because it deals with the Torah. It deals with the Nevi'im. It deals with the Ketuvim, which are the writers. You understand? That's what it means. Now, we're going to keep going on. Now, since Isaiah already told you about good tidings, let's go to Isaiah 52, verse 7. Because we're going to show you exactly who the gospel for. And it's over with after this.
Isaiah chapter 52 and verse 7.
How
beautiful upon the mountains are the feet of him that bringeth good tidings.
That's bringing good tidings. Gospel. Go ahead.
That publisheth peace. That bringeth good tidings of good, that publisheth salvation, that said unto Zion.
Salvation that said unto who?
Unto Zion.
Salvation that said unto who?
Unto Zion.
Salvation that said unto who? Zion, Israel. That's who the true gospel for. The true gospel is for the nation of Israel, not all nations, man. It never told you that the gospel was for all nations if you read between the lines and read correctly. But you've been brainwashed because guess what? You've been stuck in the matrix for some years now. We trying to bring you out of the matrix. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Wake up, man. Unplug from the matrix and study and read between the lines when you read this Bible. The gospel is for Israel, Zion. We showing you this in Isaiah, the 57th, Isaiah 52, verse 7. Isaiah 52, verse 7. The gospel is for Israel. And so when the Messiah came on the scene, he preached the gospel to his people. But the gospel didn't start with the Messiah. Good tidings started from the beginning of time. Because they tell you that in America, they tell you that the gospels begin with the 4 books of the New Testament. Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. The 4 gospels. The gospel been on the scene way before Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. You understand?